Hello, awesome people. Welcome to this pick a card style love reading. I'm Kristen. Welcome in. I'm really happy that you're here. And you know what? Who can't use a little bit of self-awareness and insight around love and relationships? Everyone talks about the relationship with ourselves being the most important relationship. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help and clarity around tapping into our own intuition and our own insights. That's what this reading is about. It's about you and I working together. I'll come through with some messages. Some will be spot on and some will just help you tap into your wisdom, and you'll begin to create your own intuition and your own insights around what I'm saying. And that's the beauty of these readings. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Pile 1, you'll be working with the lovely Starfish. Pile 2, you'll be working with Fearless Wolf. And Miss Visionary Spider in pile 3. So please feel free to mix and match. Take one, take two, take all of them. I think of these pick-a-card readings as one big reading. And if you're resonating with me, I invite you to listen to one and then come back to another the next day or later in the day. This is sacred space that I create just for yourself to take time in the middle of your day. So sit back, lie back, grab a coffee, grab a wine, put this on while you've getting some work done on the computer, doing the laundry, and just tap into yourself. So we're going to clear the air. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to open up our hearts. We're going to open up our minds. And we're going to enjoy the beauty of ourselves as we tap into the joy of sharing the beauty of us with other people and what insights we need to know as we are traveling down this journey of relationships and love. I will see you in the piles. Mwah! Bye. Hello, Starfish, pile number 1 people. Let's take a look at our oracle. Let's find a little bit about you, and then we'll pull some tarot and get a little bit of divine intelligence on the person you're thinking about. So, the Seeker, the Modern Garden Rose, white and yellow. I'm feeling crown chakra and solar plexus. So, really trusting your intuition. With the green, listening to your heart, having clarity. Just because we have intuition doesn't mean that we're throwing all the experience and wisdom out the window. All the knowledge you have that rests with you. You can trust your gut is what wants to be said here. With the Seeker, there's an element here of seek and you won't find. Sometimes we're seeking and we can get really wrapped up in the whole process of seeking, of being the one who seeks. Something here, it wants to warn you that to stop stopping yourself. It's not about I'm preparing myself for love constantly. I'm in a constant healing process. I'm going to constant workshops. I'm seeking nonstop advice, healings, therapy, and all those things are wonderful. I personally do all of those things, but you're never really ready. We're always on the journey. It's a healing process and a personal process that goes our whole lives. We're always learning, but there's a difference between that and feel like I will be ready when this happens. Like when I finish this project, when I finish this education, when I heal this certain thing, then I'll finally be open. And I'm not saying that those things aren't true and those things can't be helpful, but it's about really believing in the actions that you're taking. And relationships are learning opportunities, so they will activate us. Starfish, here in this pile, it's a water creature. It's emotional. It's about beauty and awe. But there's the shadow side of Starfish, which is shallowness. We don't want to block ourselves because we're constantly seeking what we can never really find, because you are always enough. And for someone who really sees you, you're enough no matter what. Balance. So it's not about not being in your healing process, not going and seeking a therapist if you need to talk to someone, or going to a retreat. We have to do these things. It's wonderful to be somebody who seeks to be more, to be attuned more with your higher self. But the message here is you don't also want to attract someone that it's a bottomless pit for them as well. It's like, how can you be in process together with someone where you both have a very full vase full of water that's ready to like take in the bouquet of flowers, and it can nurture it and it can hydrate it. It's not constantly running around feeling like you have to constantly do something to yourself in order to be worthy, and you don't want someone like that either. This is also a message here in the balance with shallowness. You're not looking for some Instagram sort of relationship that looks like it's the perfect thing, but then the inner workings of it are complicated. It's like you're always having to have the talk with someone. And that feels like we're constantly in process. We're doing our thing, but really it's not about a process of peeling things back and doing the shadow work of the relationship. It's just complicated and overwhelming, and you're running from one goalpost to the next, never reaching the end. So it's about ending this cycle. And whether this is you that has this a little bit, like I said, we're all in process, or maybe you're with the person who's like this, or perhaps you're with somebody that perpetuates this for you, and you want to let that go. You don't want to be with someone that's constantly putting you in process. There is a difference. With the blue here, blue water, emotional. How can you stand behind someone and be of support and allow them to also stand behind you? How can you be in the moment and in a sensorial experience with someone where you're really feeling, smelling, understanding, getting into the emotion, but there's also a straightforwardness and action. The path you're leading on goes to somewhere. So Devil in reverse is breaking those patterns. So you are Devil in reverse. You are, if you're seeking anything, it is being the seeker of how do I break patterns. I'm going to pick up this one that fell. How do I break these patterns? Well, you take a whole bunch of little left turns. I say this in so many videos, and I just really believe in it, that if you want to make any kind of change, even a big change, and it feels overwhelming, if you can't do this big, huge left turn, make a small left turn. Like do something slightly different. Just get used to a different pattern. And then you'll find that it'll go into a more deeper place. But it's also releasing an addiction to needing to find someone, to jumping too quickly into some big emotional thing, not being able to feel whether it's real or not, getting so overtaken by the emotions and the sensuality and the passion and this the feeling really good and the being with someone that you're not really sinking into the reality. Maybe you're not really quite feeling into them and where they're really at. Where are they really at? And there's nothing wrong with slowing down in order to find out. No matter how the relationship started, you can always slow things down and see more clearly. Seven of Swords. This is a card of strategy, ultimately. Are they playing games with me? Or is that something that you're perceiving based on the evidence of past relationships, based on a past pattern? Sometimes we walk into a new pattern, it's better, it's what we want, and we feel uncomfortable with it because we're so comfortable with what's been uncomfortable. Sometimes we perceive it in our heads to protect ourselves. And I'm not saying that there isn't perhaps something going on, but we want to slow down. And structure with the Hierophant. Commitment, structure. Let's grab another one. Wanting to feel freedom, 2 came out. So we have the Hierophant, we have the 4 of Wands, and the 2 of Swords in reverse. So not feeling stuck, not feeling blind, not feeling that you have no choice. Not putting yourself in that position of I have no choice. These are both cards of structure in many ways. Here's an open structure, and we have a beautiful relationship coming in that's not bound and boxed. It's liberated and free. It's the structure that 2 people are building that work for them. It's about listening to the person. What do they really need? And speaking up for yourself and letting them know what you need. People that really want you in their lives, they will care about what your needs are. And with the Hierophant, it's being able to build a commitment that although it has structure, that structure is flowing in the timeline that's naturally occurring for the greater good of everyone involved. I love you. Thank you so much. Please let me know what resonates in the description box below. If you're called, I would love you to become a member of the community. It would mean so much to me. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Pile number 2, my wolf pack. Welcome in. Wolves are wildness. It's like wanting to be wild in love and wild and free in your ability to just be yourself with your lovers and the people that you're attracting, and for them to feel 100% comfortable with you. It's like coming into a primal that's not about what you think you should do or having this outcome or being attached to this outcome. There's a wildness. Maybe there's a wildness to someone that you just met or someone that you want to meet. This is someone that you met on an adventure. Maybe you're away from home, you're on a vacation perhaps, or on a business trip. This is someone that doesn't necessarily live near you for some of you, and you have to go on an adventure to meet, and you're enjoying playing out your story, playing out that perhaps you're searching for this feeling. Wolves are also very much teacher, and relationships and the people that we are in relationships are really master teachers to us sometimes. Even in the crappy relationships, we learn a lot from them. But when it's a good partnership, it can still bring up stuff. So you bring up someone's stuff and they bring up your stuff. Okay, the Alchemist. So the wild rose. What do we say? We have wild rose and a wild wolf out having an adventure, being wild. This is also someone that likes to do stuff, someone that wants to go to restaurants and they like to get in the car and drive to a small town, go somewhere different, go on vacations, explore different countries. Perhaps you've been searching for that. That's what you want, but you want to get up and out. You've been creating, like alchemy. Number 3, bringing things together. 3, you have one whole, and what you create is this third sort of entity, right? That is the relationship out of 2 whole. This is a person that encourages you to be yourself, and who, it's like your medicine makes them feel like they can be themselves so wholly that they just want more of that. They're like, don't hold back, be you. Don't worry about putting on makeup in the morning. I love it when you dress up, but I also just love how you look in the morning natural. I love all of it. And you don't mind their vulnerable side. This is someone that is very capable, very adventurous, very smart, probably very ambitious, or has very deep ambitions, probably very established. They could be a teacher of other people. Perhaps you're a teacher of other people in some way. You do a lot of teaching in your job. I love how this forest is lit up with fire, right? It's like a fire burning back there. And wild rose, just abandoned and free, untethered. We don't want to be completely so untethered that we're just like flopping around, wanting to pull in that established foundation. But it's a foundation being created within a certain amount of freedom, as opposed to someone all over you from the very beginning, and it's a constant text. And how come you didn't get back to me, even though we've only known each other 2 weeks? Do you know what I mean? This person could possibly be teaching you about the beauty of just being in the process and letting it happen organically, because they have their own life, they have stuff. They don't come across desperate to you. This person is very sovereign and they like your sovereignty, but there could be a lesson here in it's okay to have the process. Like, go be you, go do you. Let this happen in the way it's happening. Don't rush it, because there can be miracles in love. And here's the forest again. You can create anything. You really can have what you want. The question is, are you ready for it? Are you really ready for what you want? You think, of course I am. And sometimes something comes through and it's everything we ever wanted, but it doesn't look maybe how we thought it would look, right? Maybe that person doesn't look like the kind of person that I thought that I would be with. Not my type at all, but God, it's just so passionate. Or their energy. This is an essence of somebody whose energy turns you on. You know what they look like, but you feel them. And it's vice versa. This is a person that feels you. Let's get a little more intel. So we have justice. In the past, it has felt like constant injustices in relationship. It has felt like constantly having to defend yourself, perhaps. How do I have balance? How can we have balance? How do I be my sovereign self, but also be bonded to another? You don't have to choose between your mental health and your sanity, and you're feeling safe and you're feeling like you can be yourself. It's like, to be with someone. You shouldn't have to put on the show, doll yourself up all the time. It's something is coming back around. This could be something coming back around, a person coming back around. That's one option here. The other is you're coming back around to yourself, even if it's somebody's coming back around to you. It could be very much out of the blue. You're not coming to this reading as some sort of like, is my ex coming back to me reading? And some of you might have it in the back of your minds. We've all been to that place. But what I'm saying is, you've gotten past wondering. It's simply a curiosity, if that's the case. And I would say this is someone that you haven't spoken with in at least a number of months, if that's the case. But I also want to point out, this is coming back around to yourself and what your needs and what your desires are after going through. If there's somebody coming back around, there's something different. There's some more clarity. You've got more clarity about what you really want. And you want to see, how do you feel about them now that I've changed and grown? Now that I'm my wild self, right? Now that I've gotten back to who I really am, I'm not willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to do the things it takes to be in a relationship, but I'm not willing to be blind. How do I feel about this person now? Because if you feel great about them, then that's immediately going to feel true. If they're sort of at neutral, then move with caution, just move very, very slow. And just feel into how you feel with them. Right? With the Four of Pentacles, you don't want to just start throwing your heart around, like being wild and free and lighting up with abandon and just, getting into the adventure of being someone. You've worked way too hard on yourself, on the physical manifestations of what you've created in your life that you're proud of. You're proud of where you are emotionally, that you're able to open your heart and give your heart and be wild and free and still have your boundaries. The person who's right for you understands and respects your boundaries and can tell you about their boundaries in a way that doesn't make you feel blocked. They're just trying to explain who they are because they want to be completely honest and they want you to be completely honest. The Hierophant in reverse. So this is lack of structure, not wanting to be in the box, not wanting to have to go the standard way. This is not doing things the way you've done them in the past. Wheel of Fortune reversed, something hasn't completed. Maybe you do need completion with someone. Maybe there is someone that you need to reach out to, not necessarily to get back together with them. Maybe a healing conversation with the Star card here is needed. You have to lean into it. Completion is only what we can give ourselves sometimes. And you certainly don't want to push someone into some sort of conversation that they're not prepared to really be open with. It's not going to be gratifying to you. So if you're able to sit and have a discussion that would be about integration, or maybe you almost married this person, or you were living together, you were with them a long time, they were like family, and you want to approach them reasonably, clearly, with focus, with compassion, because that's going to get you what you want in terms of being able to come together and have that conversation that closes the door in a very beautiful way. You don't want to slam it shut. But for those of you where you can't have this conversation, it's not going to be fruitful. What's the point in calling that person again? Yes, we have tons of chemistry and we always have a great time, but they don't want to have a commitment, or they're committed to their work in a way that is just frustrating for me, or they like to date around, or they're with somebody else right now. Do you really want to go in there? Sell yourself when there's a person here waiting for you that wants you for who you are, right? So maybe you've already chosen, like, I'm not going to make that phone call. I'm not going to make that text. When you don't do those things, when you don't do things completely irrationally, when you give yourself that moment of pause, there's something that clicks into the universe and then it presents something else to you. It's almost like when this happens to me, it feels like a little click, click. Okay, you got that. Like you're ready for the next thing. You're ready. So let go. Be your wild self and light up the room. Sending you lots of love. Let me know in the comments below what resonated with you. Please become a member of the community if it resonates. It would mean the world to me. Please give me a thumbs up. I would so appreciate it. And I love you and I'll be back soon. Bye. All right, spider people, pile number 3. How are you? This is your reading. So spider to me is the visionary architect. So what's your vision with what you're creating? What's great about spider medicine is that there's this complicated, delicate, vulnerable structure that's got a lot of space to it, but it's very defined and it's very intentional. And I feel like that's where you are. You're being very intentional with what you're trying to bring in love, what you have just perhaps or have brought in love. And you want to have the space and the freedom to keep creating this vision. And the vision of you as your own person as you begin to combine with another and create something together. Because life is vulnerable, delicate, and complicated, but you can have structure and you can have flow and you can always be the designer. You can always decide, this is what I need, that's what I need, this is how this needs to go, no, this needs to be here. The spider is agile and it dances as it creates the web. The innovator, how perfect for the spider. You're sick of what you've been bringing in. It's almost like, I'm done with these lessons. I'm done with these lessons in relationships. I'm done with these people. I want to do something different. I want to be with someone different. I want to be with somebody who is not afraid to be creative. I want to be with somebody who is passionate. Red rose, red chakra, the root, embodiment. Someone that you can really get down with and be yourself, and who's just authentic and raw and real. Perhaps that's innovative for you because you haven't been with somebody who is this authentic. With the modern garden rose, I feel like you perhaps already know this person. If you don't already know them, it's someone close by. It's really easy to be like, been on the apps and there's nobody new coming up, or I've dated everyone in this area, or I've tried this, or I've tried that. There's something that is right in your own backyard, so to speak, because garden roses are everywhere. They're abundant and they're beautiful. Maybe there's someone that likes you and maybe there's a little bit of something, but for some reason you're just not fully seeing them or seeing them as a romantic partner. Perhaps you need to be a little bit more innovative and be a little bit different. See someone a little bit differently. I'm really getting like some of you know someone that for some reason you're like, no, but they've got this quality, or know that, or this is their past. And there's somebody for some of you that's really great that you know, or that is really close by. Someone perhaps in your field, someone they've been a friend for a long time. For some of you, this is someone that there is a kind of closeness with already. And it could be a real innovation for you to step into exploring partnership with this person, because there's soulmate potential. In the lotus flower down here, lotuses come up from the mud. So you have your past, they have their past. It can get dark, it can get sticky, it can get muddy, it can be complicated. But what have you done with that? You've learned, you've grown, you've made different choices. And so is the partner that is coming in, so is the person that's your soulmate. They're trying to find a different way as well. This is a person that is perhaps very established, an innovator in their field. They've done something different. They're very ambitious. They're respected for what they do. But there's something different that they want. Perhaps they desire, no matter how successful they are, to bring in something new to their work environment, or to have something creative that they do. And they're looking for a partner, a soulmate, somebody who isn't afraid to own their own stuff, somebody who can handle emotion, can be in vulnerability. This is a very sensual partnership. It's about being naked together emotionally and feeling safe to be naked emotionally, to fully be yourself. It's safe to be yourself with this person. And there's comfort, which doesn't have to be boring at all. Let me grab that. Three of Swords, healing. Perhaps it's been 3 years since a healing process that's really begun for you, or 3 years since your last relationship, or 3 years since you've changed something. Perhaps there's been 3 people in a row. Maybe for them, there's been like a cycle of 3 years. Maybe it's 2 kids and an ex-wife or husband. But it's about a true healing of the heart, of recognizing there's no way to strengthen the heart without sometimes going through a sort of spiraling down. And the only way we learn sometimes is to get activated enough so that we see what's not working for us, how we need to change. But then coming to a point where it's like, okay, that happened and I don't need to go through that again. I've learned that. I don't need to learn by spiraling down into the pits of the dark abyss of the ocean. We've been down in the mud. Now we want to go towards the light of the moon and enchantment and beauty and the feminine energy between two people. Like finding the end of the rainbow right there. What treasures at the end of this long journey of life and different partners and the different people that we've known and the different dates we've been on and how we've learned something from everything, even if it was just one date. That's a part of who you are as a partner. And it's all very valid. And it's valid in somebody else. And I think we sometimes acknowledge our own journey without realizing that other people are on that path as well and they've been through stuff, and you don't want someone to project upon you, or you don't need to take on what's not yours, but it's also that somebody else is going through their own stuff. They're learning about who am I now as a lover and somebody who wants to be loved and to fall in love, and what does falling in love mean for me now? What do I need to fall in love now as opposed to 20 years ago or even just 6 months ago? Because we are constantly on that life journey and constantly growing. And in an instant, things can shift for us. And sometimes it takes a long time to make a shift. But with the Page of Wands in reverse, it's like someone who acts like a child. It's like it's overly passionate. It's like passion is all that matters. Then we want to be able to keep the oven hot, right? We want to be able to turn on the burner and be able to keep it at a sustainable heat, right? So we want to be able just to keep it on that barely a simmer, and then we can turn it up all the way up the heat when we want. We can turn it down when it needs to go down, but there's always heat there. How do you keep heat going? How do we keep desire and our sensual selves when life becomes ordinary and then we get into our routines and things aren't new anymore? It's not about becoming a bored child. It's about how do we create intimacy in the everyday ordinariness? How do we create intimacy in the morning with no makeup and when everybody is running late and things get complicated? The Empress, by nurturing ourselves, by realizing that a relationship needs to be nurtured and given birth to like any other creation. There's a huge feminine energy here that whether you're a man or a woman, non-binary, there wants to be this feminine energy that kind of steps forward in relationship that's a little bit more nurturing. To people that are nurturing themselves, that are taking their time, that are being in their process. The Empress is the queen of all queens. She rules the land. So somebody who's got their life together. Somebody who inspires you to get your life together, that helps you, it inspires you to be more intentional, to have structure. Perhaps there's things that they're really good at and things that you're really good at, and you make them feel stronger where maybe they have felt weak in the past and vice versa. But she has all the elements, earth, wind, water, and fire. So it's a place where you can stand in the center of the wheel of your life and be able to be like, I need more fire now. I want to be passionate. No, now I need to be embodied. I want to bring an embodied experience where I really feel this person. I'm not just looking at them, but I feel them. Like what they look like almost doesn't matter because I really feel them. And I feel like I'm in my life with them and I'm in my life and I'm grounded. Clarity of air, focus, intention, and spirit. Having this spiritual connection. Having something that is visionary. Where you're inspired to be visionaries for each other and what you're creating together. And no more having to defend yourself. No more having to like keep up a boundary that's so tough that no one can get through it. And with the Strength card, feeling you are not being overpowered. Somebody is not trying to tame you. A place where you can be your wild, free, authentic self. And somebody feels they can be their wild, free, authentic self with you. And that's it. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you so much for listening to me today. Please give me a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. Please join the community and subscribe if you're called. It would be my honor to be in discovery with you here on YouTube as I do all the different things. And let me know in the comments below what you resonated with, or just simply say hi. Thank you. Have a great day or evening. Bye.